Hello everyone, welcome to another live video. I couldn't do a video for the last couple of days because I was traveling from Dubai, and right now I am in Rwanda in Africa. It's my first time in Africa, just been exploring around, and I tried some African food for the first time today. That will be up on my Instagram stories very soon. But yeah, I'm just doing some exploring. And also I got a flight booked to Kenya next week. So I'm hoping to explore a lot there. And just see the area where the movie The Lion King was set. Because that's something I always liked as a child. And I always wanted to see Kenya. So that's something I'm going to be doing next week before I head back to the UK. And for those of you who are wondering about Nala, she's doing okay. She had a vet appointment yesterday, so she's very healthy. And I'm sure she's just glad to be back in the UK, running around everywhere. But yeah, this is Rwanda in Africa. A local park here. As you can see, it's a very clean and ordered place. It's very calm, very quiet, civilized, very different to everywhere else I've been over the past few years. You know, when I was doing videos in Malaysia, the Philippines, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was much better though, it was much more calm there. But even Dubai, it was very noisy. But yeah, here it seems it's just much more calm, you know. People are actually a lot more civilized, is what I've noticed. I mean, I only got here a couple of days ago, but yeah, it just seems a lot more peaceful. So, you know, that's my experience so far. And I've been talking to some people here and they're very friendly, easy to talk to. Other than, you know, sometimes with the language, because they have their own language here. Of course, you know, there's always some weirdos, you know, that's everywhere in the world. Like yesterday, I met up with two girls and it just had me paying for their food, their taxi. And in the local currency, my food was like 3,000. She ordered all this stuff and then the bill came and it was 25,000. So, yeah, there's always some weirdos here. And typically it does seem to be the younger women. It's like everywhere you go in the world, it's always the younger women who are just really messed up. They're always just looking to steal from you. But I guess, you know, that's really, the difference here is more the men. I mean, yes, you know, in the other countries, in Asian countries, the women were very provocative there as well. But here, the men are much more civilized, much more calm. Of course, you know, there's always idiots everywhere you go, and that's just how it is. But yeah, just walking through this park in Africa, Rwanda. And now we're going to talk about how you can respond to a narcissist without giving away your power. Because this is it, you know. This is what they want from you. When you're talking to a narcissist, you know the way that you typically respond to them. That's kind of become instinctual to you, the way that they've wired you to respond. Of course, there are reasons why you respond that way. The reason is because that's exactly how they want you to respond. That's exactly the type of interaction that they want to have with you. And this all goes back to their childhood trauma. They felt inadequate. They felt they weren't good enough. So now they want to do things backwards. They want to take you the opposite way. They want to take you off your path. They want to take you in the opposite direction of where you're going to, while they're acting that they're with you and they're on the same page, and then they're taking you in reverse because that gives them a sense of power. That's what makes them feel empowered. And yet you might wonder then, why would they target you? And that's just it, they target you for power. They enjoy targeting someone and then taking them the opposite way of where they're trying to go. In any way possible. So whatever you naturally would do or would like or would be interested in, they want to spin you around and take you the opposite direction to make themselves feel empowered, which of course can cause you to degrade and just become a very different person to who you used to be. And then that's when they come in blaming you and smearing your name. But yeah, initially they idealize you. They appear to love everything about you. And they do. They admire your qualities. They admire everything about you. The problem that they have is that you have it and they want it to be theirs. So this is why they go against everything that you stand for, everything that means anything to you. Anything that you're passionate about, they have to oppose it for that very reason, because they haven't got the power to perform for you. The whole point of why they idealize you and target you initially is because you possess qualities that they don't have. If they possess those qualities the same as you, then you would have seen that from them by now. But this is it. This is why everything's always so negative with them. They do not possess those same qualities as you do. They really don't. My mouth is getting a bit dry now because of the anxiety. That's what happens, and then my lips start getting stuck with my teeth. And I get like a bit of a whistle, like a hiss when I speak. That's how you know when I'm experiencing anxiety. As many of you may experience as well from dealing with narcissists, you know, you get your mouth just suddenly goes dry. It stops producing saliva, and then your throat starts getting tight. And yeah, that can happen, you know, when you are aware of being around a predator, someone who is seeking to ruthlessly exploit you, take advantage of you. Naturally, you know, your throat's going to get very tense and your mouth is going to get very dry. And it could even affect the facial muscles too. These are all just natural responses to it. But yeah, they do not possess the same qualities as you do. They idealize you. They put you on a pedestal initially because they envy you for those qualities that they do not possess. Listen, if they possess those same qualities, not only could they appreciate it in you, but you could appreciate it in them. and you could live in harmony with each other. You can't, because they don't possess the same qualities. That's why. Because think about it, if two people have something in common, if they have shared interest, then what's the problem? If you've got it and they've got it, then what is the issue there? The issue comes in because you have it and they don't have it. You may think that they have it, and it may have seemed like they did initially because they operate with a false character. And this false character is tailored to your specific ideals and interests. Everything that you see in them, it's a reflection of you. It's a reflection of what you like. It's not a representation of anything that they like or that they are about. It's all just a mirror reflection of you that they have created to lure someone just like you in. And this is what creates the confusion, because you wonder, if this person is so similar to me, if they've got what I like and I've got what they've like, then what's the problem? And that's it. They haven't got what you want. That's not really them. It is a mask. Just like a salesman might wear a mask and act like they're really interested in this product that they're selling to you. They're promoting it. Really, they couldn't care less about it. They just want to make that sale. Same thing with a narcissist. They just want that exchange from you. And it's a very unfair exchange. It's not worth it on your part, because you're not ever getting what you want from them. That's not really who they are. But they're getting what they want from you. And what they want is that supply. They want the validation from you. They want your attention, your emotional engagement, and your time. And like I said, this all goes back to their childhood, because they felt inadequate. They felt like they weren't good enough for their parent. So then they became a nuisance. They started to act out, cause problems, drama. And this was all to get their parents' attention, because they couldn't get it the right way. But then at the same time, they may have created this false image, performed for their parents, pretended to be who they wanted them to be. And that's how you see the same thing with the narcissist. It's like 1 minute they're the person that you want, and then all of a sudden there's a problem. And they're creating chaos, drama. That's how this happens. It all goes back to their childhood. And then they often bring in a third person. They triangulate you. This goes back to that dynamic in childhood, where maybe they went back and forth between their two parents and pitted them against each other, made them jealous. Everything that you see from the narcissist, these are all things that they have learned in their childhoods, and it's what worked for them. It worked on their parents, just as it now works on you. So yeah, that's what they want. They want your supply. They want that attention, validation, your time, your emotional engagement. They want to feel like you care, because maybe in their childhood, their parent didn't care. They were neglected or abused. And this is it. That may have been when they felt like their parent did care. It's when, rather than being neglected, they were being abused. This is why the narcissist wants to make you angry. They want you to engage in reactive abuse, so that they can feel like you care about them. If they can provoke you, if they can get a reaction out of you, in their minds it's like, yes, I've got you. You do care. I do matter. I do mean something. I am important. And you may see it, they get all excited about it. You may see that narcissistic smirk. That's all that they want. They don't care about anything else. Now you may wonder, well, if they want your attention, if they want your time, if they want your emotional engagement, then why don't they just give you what you want? Why don't they continue with the love bombing? Wouldn't that make more sense? Well, this is it. They can't sustain it. It requires your validation, but there's no amount of validation that you can give to them for them to be able to continue with it. It's never going to be enough. That's why they need multiple partners. Typically, they have networks of people on social media, dating apps. One person could never be enough for them. So they're not going to keep love bombing you. And this is it, because also, if they kept love bombing you, all they have is just one act. Once you've seen it, that's it. That's all that there is. They lack depth. There isn't anything deeper to them. They try to make you think that there is some other magical side to them, to leave you longing and yearning for it. But in reality, there isn't. If there was, they would have used that on you to keep you attached to them. They didn't, because it didn't exist. And that's why they go to the devaluation, because their pockets are empty. They've got nothing more to give. They can't afford you emotionally. That's why they get angry. That's why they turn against you, because you are demanding more from them and they haven't got it to give. So it causes a narcissistic injury because it makes them feel inadequate. And especially when they see that you have it, that's why they try to take it from you. They try to destroy it. So this is it. This is why they have to turn against you. This is why they will always devalue you. It's just always going to happen. And it's never going to be any different. And whatever you thought they were, whatever they made you believe that they weren't that. They may have seemed like they were that before, but why couldn't they continue with it? That's what you've got to remember. That wasn't really them, they were mirroring you. Their entire self-image is based off of you, your likes, your interests, because they know it's going to get your attention. So essentially, they're really just a reflection of you. They're really just your creation. And that's it, you know, that's all they want to be, is just, they want to be something for someone. Because they felt like they weren't good enough for their parent in childhood and they had to perform for their parents' attention. And now they've learned to do that same thing with you. Check out these flowers here. Beautiful. So yeah, they want your supply, they want your reactions. They need that from you. They can't survive emotionally without it. So that's all they're trying to do, you know, they're trying to keep you emotionally engaged and just keep extracting from you. The problem is they haven't got anything to reciprocate back to you. You know, they do have an act, they do have a performance. That's not going to keep you entertained for long. And that's why they typically withhold that from you. They may give you a taste initially, but then they withhold it. Because they know you're just going to get bored. They know it's not going to be good enough for you. And so, you know, it also just keeps you chasing after them for something that they haven't even got to give. It's just an act, it's just a performance. So what do? You stay calm and brief. Don't get into the wrestling ring with them. Do not feed into it. They're going to give you the bait, hoping that you're going to react, hoping that you're going to give your power away to them. You keep it short, you keep it brief. Don't go deep into anything with them. Your composure starves their need for chaos. It frustrates them, they can't stand it. You know, when they're trying to push your buttons, they're trying to get under your skin, they're trying to get a rise out of you, and you just don't respond to it. You stay calm and non-reactive. Yeah, that really winds them up. Don't defend or explain yourself. Because you may try to explain to them. You may try and get them to understand. They don't want to understand. Yeah, they know that what you're saying is true. They know that they're wrong. They know that they're lying. They know that you're right. But they don't want you to be right. Because how does that serve them? And this is why, you know, even when you're covering all bases, you could try and write everything down and have the perfect argument, the perfect explanation for them of how they are wrong and you are right. And they will twist your logic. They will twist your words around. And it's all just to regain control, to secure their false reality. You can't sit down and have a normal conversation with them. For them, it's all about emotional fantasy. For you, it's logic. And this is it, you know, their fantasy can defeat your logic. You can't battle words with them against the ideas that they have in their minds. That's not going to work. Fantasy is always going to win. Because it's set up to win. So you're never going to be able to get through to them, talk sense to them. They're always going to be in their little fantasy worlds. And they're never going to want to listen or understand you, your point of view. Even though you may be right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're right. It doesn't matter if you hold factual information. It doesn't matter if you have all of the evidence in the world. That's not going to make a difference. Because they're not living in reality. They're living in a fantasy world. And this is why, how you know that they're living in a fantasy world, is that it's not self-sustaining. It doesn't make them happy. If anything, it makes them more frustrated, more miserable. And this is why they need the supply, the validation from you. Because they cannot sustain it on their own. They've got to get it from you. While as for us, even when the narcissist does come in and does try to act encouraging or supportive, it just throws you off. Because you know they're not meant to be there. And you know that it's fake. And this is it, you know, it does get to a point where no matter what they do, no matter what they say, you're never going to be able to trust them again. Because there's certain things that people do that just can't be forgiven. You can't forgive them for some of those things. For that betrayal. How can you ever trust someone like that? So yeah, use neutral statements. Don't be overly positive or overly negative. Don't be overly pessimistic or optimistic, because that's what they want. Again, this goes back to their arrested emotional development. They got emotionally immature. So they think in terms of black or white, perfect or flawed. So as long as they get an overly optimistic or overly pessimistic reaction from you, they're typically fine with that. But when you're neutral, then they can't get supply. So use neutral statements like I see, or that's your opinion. Another thing that they want is a sense of urgency. They want you to hurry up. They want you to be ready, eager, willing to fix the situation, to help them. Again, this goes back to their childhood. They were not soothed as a child when they were upset about something. No one was there for them. Or they were overly spoiled emotionally. Whenever there was a problem, their parent was always there to take care of them. They never learned how to self-soothe. So now they want you to be ready at the drop of a hat. When they say jump, they expect you to say how high. It's the sense of urgency. But if you delay your response, your silence makes them lose power because it isn't even real. It's all an act, it's all a performance. And it is driven by your energy, your validation. That's what keeps it moving. But if you give them silence, if you delay your response, it all collapses like a house of cards. So yeah, keep your boundaries firm and unemotional. Now, of course, when you're neutral, they're not going to like it. It's going to irritate them. And they may try to ramp it up. They may try to escalate it to get that reaction that they want, where you feel trapped, you feel like you can't escape. You feel like you're cornered, you're dominated, under their control. That's what they want. They want to keep you in that position. So what you do is when they provoke you, you disengage early. You do not stay in it. Because the more that you stay in it, it causes you self-doubt, and of course they jump on the bandwagon because that's what they want. And then it makes them even more crazy. It validates this illusion. It feeds into it. And the repetition fuels the belief in you and in them. But when you disengage, now they can't make sense of it. Now they can't understand. They're left feeling invalidated now, because you've left early. So you disengage early, you give them no reaction, and then that means that they have no supply. They have no validation for their illusion, and it's not self-sustaining. It requires your compliance, your agreement. They've got to get you on that same wavelength, on that same frequency. It's the only way that they can function. So yeah, protect your energy. Recognize that not every comment deserves a response. And when you walk away, you're not walking away to win like they do. Because for them, it's all about winning. It's all about domination, conquering you, taking away your power. For you, you are walking away. You are setting a boundary, not to gain any power over them, not to show them anything, not to prove anything. not to win, but to protect your peace. That's the only reason why you're walking away. Because you're sick of all of the confusion, all of the emotion, the irrational responses, the dysfunction, the chaos. You're tired of it. That's why you're walking away. For them, they walk away after you've invested your energy, your emotion, your hope, your enthusiasm. Then they walk away, they abandon you, because that gives them a sense of power, robbing you, essentially. That's what they do. That's not what we do. We're not giving them a sense of hope, optimism, and then walking away. We're not deceiving them. We're not playing them. We're not players. We gave it our all. We tried our best. We gave everything and we got nothing. We got robbed. And now we're sick of the drama. We're sick of the dysfunction. So we walk away to protect our peace. Because that's what we want. We want peace, not war. But yeah, remember this, every time you stay centered, you take your power back. And that's what you should aim to do, is center your energy within yourself. Because that's really what you are to them, you know, you're an energy bank. You're an energy farm. And they're constantly harvesting this energy from you. They want you to externalize it outwards, give it to them. They just want to use you up for all of it. And that's because they lack the energy, they lack the enthusiasm. They are empty. That's why they've got to get that from you. And that's how you give it all to them, and then by the end of the day, you're drained out. It's like you don't even know who you are anymore. You can't remember your own name. You don't know which way is up or down. They just gaslighted you. Messed up your mind. And you may experience things like this every day by the end of the day. Because they put you through so much, you jump through all these hoops. You give all of the energy that you have to try and lift them up, to sustain their false self, their illusion, until you've got nothing left to even sustain your own true character. Because they've just completely destroyed your ego, everything. And yeah, some of you may experience it. It gets to a point. If you're feeding into it, if you're still giving and giving to them, you may even forget to eat. You may even forget to use the bathroom. You forget your basic needs. That's the point that it gets to. And I know exactly what that's like so many times, dealing with narcissists for hours. And it's like, the moment that we stop and I come back to myself, and typically what helps is when I focus on something else outside of them, all of a sudden I feel this pain in my bladder. It's like my bladder is bursting. Like I really need to pee. Or suddenly my stomach starts rumbling and I realize I'm really hungry. And then for the hours that I was around the narcissist, I wasn't in tune with any of that. This is it. They steal your life force. That's what they do. To sustain a false self. It's crazy. But yeah, this is what they do. And what you need to do is center your energy. Come back within yourself. Because this is the whole game, right? They bait you in, they sensitize you. And then they pull away, they create confusion, they leave you chasing after them for something. You never needed anything from them. You never did. They needed something from you. And they tricked you into thinking that you needed them so that they could get what they needed from you. That's all that it is. And that's so by the end of it, you've given everything and got nothing. Because you never needed anything from them. They didn't have it to give. So this is it. You've got to realize it. And this is the incredible thing, is that once you come back to yourself, once you center yourself, you reconnect back to who you are, your sense of self, that's when you realize that you never needed them. The moment that you do that, and then you start to seek a healthier partner, someone who can actually love you the way that you love, someone who can give you what you gave to the narcissist. Your love, time, energy, attentiveness, things that you never got from them. So this is it. This is what you have to do. And jumping into another relationship so soon is just going to repeat the cycle. You've got to come back to yourself first. You've got to heal. That's the only way that you can do it. And the more that you do it, the easier it gets. I can reconnect back to myself so easily and effortlessly. You just need to know where in the brain that you need to activate, and also what in the brain you need to deactivate. It gets easier with practice. And of course, I have to do it often. I have to center myself daily, because there's so many narcissists out in the world who will disconnect you from you. And this is how they do it. They take your power away from you. And they don't take your power away from you because there's this magical side to them that you're missing. They do it because there's a magical side to them that they are missing. That's why they do it. Because they're missing something. And that's how, you know what happens to you after they do these things to you? You know how that feels for you? That's how they feel every day. But by doing that to you, it makes them feel a bit better. It makes them feel a bit more alive, a bit more like you. But nowhere near how you can normally feel. They never get to feel that way. And even how you feel after they disconnect you from yourself, how they normally feel is far worse. You just can't even imagine it. And this is why, they're always so slow. They're always so unresponsive. They lack energy and enthusiasm. They're depressed. And they do the same thing to you. Before you know it, they've made you negative. They've made you giving up. You weren't like that before. This is it. I hope my passion about this topic is coming through to you in this video. Because it's been difficult to get it through, in these other countries, Asian countries. Narcissism is just so prevalent there. It's so many people. And they enjoy their disorder. Of course, it makes them feel a bit more alive in the moment. For me, I want to connect people back to themselves. I want to give you back that self-belief. Of course, that's always been my objective. I want people to be happy. I want people to live a good life. But I want it to be real. Like when I see people who, they may appear to be happy, they may appear to be living a good life, but I still can't be happy for them because I know that it isn't real. I know it's all fake. And I know it's all just about disconnection and exploiting people. I can't be happy about that. And I know the difference at this point. I know when something's not real because I don't feel comfortable with it. It sets off something inside of me. It doesn't feel right. And it's like I want to do something about it. I want to fix it. Now, when I see people, like let's say I see a couple, and they're genuinely just happy. They genuinely just love each other. And they have a family. That doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. Not unless it's something where it's like pushing boundaries and they just start like making out in front of me or something. Of course, that's gonna make me feel uncomfortable. But if I just see people who are genuinely happy, I'm very comfortable with that. That's what I want for people. Despite everything that's happened to me, I can still be happy for other people. Even if it isn't that way for me right now. But when I see these fake ass performances, like all of this fake stuff on social media, I can't be happy for anyone with that. Because I know it isn't real. And I know I'm being manipulated. So why would anyone be happy about that? It might make you angry. Or it might make you want to fix it, but you can't. But yeah, this is it, know the difference. But I love it though, I really do, when people, they message me on social media or they send me an email and they tell me now about things are getting better for them. Maybe they got a new job or they met someone new. And sometimes people send me pictures and they look really happy together. And I just feel so happy for them. And I just feel so proud of myself that I was an influence in their life to help them to get there. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. And I'm sure many of you, you feel the same way. When you see narcissists and everything's just so fake. Like you see them with a new supply. And it's something so uncomfortable about it. They're flaunting the new supply. And it just doesn't feel right. But yeah, this is what they do. And it's because they're empty. It's because they're depressed. They're not really happy, they're miserable. And no matter what it looks like they have, a new relationship, a new car, a new job that may appear to be successful now, they're not happy with it. They still envy you. They still envy that true self that you have, that real happiness that they are never gonna find out there in the world. They're not gonna find it in a person. They're not gonna find it in a new car. They're not gonna find it anywhere. But this is what they do. Once they discard you, you see them. They just switch everything up. They got a new hairstyle, they got new clothes, a new car, a new partner, flaunting it, acting like they're so happy now. They're not. They still envy you. They still envy what you have because they know they're never gonna have that. And that is the truth. That is the real truth. In the moment, these things may make them feel a bit more alive, but it never sustains them. And this is it, you know. However great this thing may be that they have, the more that it lifts them up, the more of a crash they have afterwards, the further down they have to go. That's how it works with their narcissistic supply. They go shooting up and then they come straight down. So you're not missing out on anything. It's nothing to be jealous of. What you have is far greater. And all you got to do is come back to yourself. And that feeling when you center yourself, you find your passion again, they will never get to experience that. They could have had that with you. They didn't want it. They didn't want your love. They didn't want your passion. So how are they going to go off and have that somewhere else? They're not. Because they were never looking for it with you. They targeted you to extract from you, to exploit you. And that's how you know, wherever they go, they're never going to find anything that completes them. It's never going to happen. So don't worry about it. You focus on you. Stop giving your power away to them. Keep your power. You have everything that you need inside of you. But yeah, sun is starting to go down. I'm gonna go and have my dinner and see this view, which I will be posted up on my stories very soon on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, it's Narc Survivor Coaching. Check out my daily blog posts, book a one-on-one with me. Go to narcsurvivor.co.uk. Give the video a thumbs up. Let's get it out there. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about what I said. I hope this video was good for you. And check out my videos on X. It's Narc Survivor 18. And if you'd like to support this work, you can donate. Go to paypal.me/narcsurvivor. So yeah, that's it for this one. At this park here in Rwanda, Africa. My first time in Africa. I'm just enjoying exploring around, seeing the different nature, the different plants, trees, birds. Hopefully see a lizard soon. And of course, seeing the elephants, giraffes, everything when I go to Kenya next week. So yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you all for joining me. And I'll talk to you in another one very soon.